chopped. The best part is I don't have any smelly fingers. So I'll just show you there. So that's that onion and dill all finely chopped. Now, if you don't have dill, you can add fresh chives. But if you like a lot of flavor, I'd add both actually. So now we're going to add some cream cheese. It's always a great idea to have a block of Philly in the fridge because it's a really good base for quick dips, but also who doesn't love a great cheesecake at Christmas time? I think my favorite is the burnt bast cheesecake, and I'm sure all the other ladies have made that. If you've made the burnt bast cheesecake, pop that in the comments. Or if you've got a favorite cheesecake recipe, let us know. So I'm just going to add a little bit of cream here. So this is just your normal whipping cream. And then we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice, so about 20 grams. So I've got 250 grams of cream cheese, 120 grams of whipping cream, and then 20 grams of lemon juice, so about juice of half of a lemon there. And then I'm going to add a little splash of Tabasco sauce, about a teaspoon. But look, if you want to leave this out, you can as well. So I'll just add a little bit there just for a tiny kick. Tick that off. And next, if you're a visual person like me, you'll really appreciate seeing the little digital twin on the TM7. It actually lets you know to pop the lid on, and it's not going to work if the lid isn't on as well. So if you have made this, pop that in the comments too. So this is the smoked salmon mousse. It's really, really lovely. And the good thing about this dish is that it can actually keep well in the fridge for about a week. So if you do make a good sized batch, like we will here today, you can pop some aside in the fridge for another time. And any leftovers actually make a really nice spread for a sandwich or a fancy sandwich for school the next day. Okay, so I'll just show you how quick and easy that was. We're just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. What I'm loving about the TM7 are the accurate scales. They go up in 1 gram increments, whereas if you've got a TM31 or a TM5, it might only be going up in 10 or 5 gram increments. Another thing that I love is the super flexible spatula with the TM7, and I can just stand it up like that. Now we're going to press next there, and we're going to add some pickles. Again, if you don't like it, you can leave it out, but I do think they add a nice flavor. I've got a little bit extra, but that's okay. That's a good thing about Cookie Do. We use the recipe as a guide. It's okay if you're a bit over, under, if you want to increase recipes or leave it out. Now we're going to add 250 grams of smoked salmon. It's always nice to have a packet in the fridge. It can keep well for a little while. And smoked salmon makes a great last minute dinner. There's a beautiful recipes in Cookie Do with smoked salmon and pasta. Simple, fancy dish, nice on a Friday night with a glass of wine. So how much have I got? Maybe one more slice. It's nice. I've got a packet of 300 grams, so it's nice to keep a little bit left over that you can use as a garnish to top, little crostinis and something like that. So we'll just tick that across. So just show you what we're dealing with there. So that's our little cream cheese dip base with some smoked salmon. And we're going to blend this up now. Now we're using the turbo mode. So you will have the turbo mode as a manual mode in your Thermomix, but here it's actually preset to go around 3 times. So I haven't had to do anything. It just does it all by itself. There we go. Okay, and let's have a look at that. There we go. How quick and easy is that? That's our beautiful smoked salmon mousse. Now I'm going to top some little slices of toasted bread with that and present it in a little bowl to show you how you can serve it as a little finger food, but also as a dip. So if we want to go to the next presenter, and then I can show you what this looks like right at the end with all our dishes. So who's going to go next? Oh, can't hear you. You're muted there.
We might go over to Milani to start her amazing dish there.
All right, give me 1 second to find a pen.
And remember, everyone, there are lots of dip recipes in Cookie Do. So especially coming up to this time of year, it's a great way to save money, but also to cook from scratch and avoid all those nasty additives and preservatives that are in lots of shop-bought dips.
All right, everyone, bear with me. I'm just going to keep my eye on if someone wants to join the Zoom as well. But I'm doing a bit of marshmallow. Who has ever made their own marshmallows in the Thermomix? I certainly haven't. And I'm quickly just going to show you how to set your screen to a bit dimmer because I can't see my own screen. There we go. I'm just putting the brightness down a bit. Hopefully that's a bit better. It looks better. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting a co-host to quickly admit anyone that's going to join. A friendly teenager that's very wanting to do this. As jy hier naam oppops, dat sê wait, dan ben jy net admit. Okay, there we go. I've got a helper to admit anyone that's coming in now. So let's start. Firstly, I want to show you with the TM7, one of the very new funky tricks I love is if you go on your app in Cookie Do, and I'm just going onto, sorry, I'm looking for my recipes. So there's the recipes I'm doing. Hubby or kids are phoning me and they're saying they want to make marshmallows. Where's the recipe, Mom? So I'm just going to go on the recipe where I'm sitting at work or couldn't be bothered to get off my bed. And instead of, because the Thermomix on, instead of saying cook today, it says there, send to TM7. Now, when I press this, keep your eye on the screen there, because I press here, and it's literally going to send it to my Thermomix screen. How cool is that? I thought it was really cool. All right, so we're going to start the Rocky Road with vanilla bean marshmallow. Our first step is to grease and line a oven tray. I've done that. Now we're going to pop a bowl on top of the lid, and we're going to weigh in gelatin, 30 grams. So I love how you can just weigh on your lid or on the base of your TM7. If you remove your bowl and you just put a plate or something down, you can use it as a scale. And when you get to the correct amount or the green zone, you will see it, oh, if I don't touch it, it'll tick itself off. I'll show you that with the next one. Sorry, I touched the screen there. And now we're going to add 140 grams of water to this gelatin. So now I've got to hit the green zone and not touch the screen so I can show you what's going to happen. And don't stress, I did it before and the bowl didn't overflow, but it is close. So we're getting there. All right, so there's the green zone, and I'm not touching it. Can you see it ticks itself off? Hopefully you can all see my screen there. So daar's een wat was. Just go. Just want to show it. So you just admit. Okay. Now they say to combine the gelatin with the water and set aside. So I'll do that in a bit, or maybe the teenager here can do that as well. She didn't even know she's going to do all kinds of things for me today. Now we're going to place some white sugar into our mixing bowl. And we need 330 grams. Remember to tear your scales. If you just follow the steps in the recipe next, the TM7 actually tears the scales for you, even if you still have to remove your lid. And it's got the, what do they call it? Oh, now I'm talking and doing two things at once. Oh, no, perfect. Still checking it off. There we go. So it mirrors, the picture on here mirrors what's there. So it shows your Thermomix without the lid. And then if I pop the lid on, it shows my Thermomix with the lid. Little things like that fascinates me. Then we're going to mull this 5 seconds. Speed down.
Milani,
Yes.
we've just had a question in the chat. Are
Yep.
second bowls available to purchase with TM7?
Not yet. So I might just have 2 Thermomixes. That's why I've got 2 bowls. But stay tuned. You can probably buy a bowl early next year. But if you join as a consultant in one of our teams, if you already have a Thermomix and you join, that's one of the perks you can get when you join now as a new consultant, is to get a second bowl. So that was 5 seconds. We've just made a little bit thinner than caster sugar. If I go for another 15 seconds, we've got icing sugar there. So who saves money by milling their own sugar into caster and icing sugar? There we go. Now we're just basically making sugar water. It's okay. So we're going to weigh in 140 grams there. It's zeroed my scales already. And Murphy is going to have it that I just didn't have enough water in this, or did I? Oh, I did. Wonderful. So it's checking itself off there. Now I'm just going to explain the next steps. So next we will heat that water for 15 minutes. So you'll get sugar water. Then you'll add, let's just say, skip. Then you'll add the gelatin mixture, which, thank you, Lisa Marie. It becomes a very solid consistency. Let me pick my words very carefully there. And then you would warm that for 2 minutes. But why I've got the second bowl here is, the thing is that after you've warmed this up, you've got to wait half an hour for the mixture to cool down to 50 degrees. So let me quickly show you. If I go out into manual mode, so your modes are over there and there's manual mode. Mine is 45 degrees now. So the small little amount there tells you exactly what the temperature is. To get back to my recipe, I just scroll down and tap on the recipe and there it's back. So I cooled that down for about half an hour. I can show you now that it's a colored mixture, well, gelatin water basically. So now is when the magic happens. I'm going to put my whisk in, and then I'm going to need 7 minutes, Lyndall, and then you can come back to me. And then I'm going to show you what magic has happened.
Fantastic. Now I've Quirky Cooking is someone I follow. Somebody put in the chat if you know who Quirky Cooking is, with Jo. She does a beautiful honey sweetened marshmallow. So if you're trying to watch your sugar and you want more natural sugars, she does a beautiful honey sweetened marshmallow and it's delicious. So that's a little tip for you. Now we're going to go across to Meg's, and we're going to start with Meg. So let's spotlight Meg.
Amazing. So I'm doing caramelized red onion chutney. And this is such a super amazing gift that you can make for people. Can you guys hear me okay? Great. So we're going to place in our olive oil. So again, as the girls have already said, super fun when you get the green zone. So I'm going to pour my oil in, and you guys can keep track of how I'm going. When I get close to 25, and it's going to tick itself off. Ooh. Yay. You feel really good about yourself. Tick. Woohoo. And then here's my onion that I prepared earlier. So it's cut up into wedges, my red onion. Woohoo, bang on. Gosh, I'm a goddess in the kitchen, everybody. And then I'm just going to brown that for 20 minutes. And all I have to do is pop that on. It's preset 20 minutes, 160 degrees, and it's just going to gently stir. So while I'm doing that, can I show you what else I have been working on? Do I have time? Or who else needs to present?
No, you can have time. That's
Oh,
fine.
sweet. Well, obviously you can tell me enough's enough, Megs. But the other thing that I have organized here is I've got some little balls of dough because there's a Christmas pull-apart that I'm going to make because it goes really well with the chutney. The chutney is also great as a little gift. So what I have here is a dough ball, and all I'm going to do is on my Thermomix mat is I'm just going to roll out a ball, and I'm going to roll it out to be 8 centimeters. And the cool thing about these mats is they already have a circle. When I first made this, when I first got a Thermomix, I was a terrible cook. So there's my 8 centimeters. And my husband actually did this step the first time. And then here's the cheese filling, because what we're actually going to do is we're going to place that inside our little balls. And then we're going to make a Christmas tree. So I'm going to tuck that under together. Oh, I feel like I put too much in there. That'll be okay. And then I'm going to place it on my tray. And then I'm going to shape it in the shape of a Christmas tree. So I'm just going to continue doing that with my little balls. So they've been proofing. I made this dough when I got home from work today. So one thing that's pretty great about being a consultant is this for me is a side hustle. I'm also a team leader too, and I look after a fabulous team. And I just love that I have this opportunity to learn new things and explore new things. So again, this is called a French rolling pin because it's got the fancy angled sides on the end. So again,
and we
just
need to
pop
let
that.
everyone know we've got a big sale at the mix shop too.
Ooh, yeah, let's tell them about that.
Just started today. So I've already placed 2 orders because if you make an order over $150, you get a surprise Christmas cracker from Thermomix.
Oh, that's right.
So that's what I was doing on my lunch break today.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, get yourself a Christmas cracker.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want, we love gifts. There's something in our brains.
And those Christmas crackers, I believe, are valued at up to $50. Was that right?
Oh, I can't remember, but I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, I can't wait to get mine either. I want to have a whole table full. All the family can get one.
Oh, that's a great idea.
A great idea.
These big.
Because as consultants, we have incentives all the time, and I'm sure all of us have already earned our own Christmas crackers. So I'm not surprised if you have a table full of Christmas crackers there, Lyndall.
I have to spend a bit of money at the mix shop, but that's okay. We might go to Sasha. Sasha's going to do something for something delicious that people might want to try at Christmas as well. So while Megs is doing her rolling out, we might go to Sasha.
Hello.
Sasha started.
Awesome. So I'm not sure what spotlighted, but if you want to spotlight me and the Thermomix, that would be wonderful. Just finishing off from your conversation about the mix shop sales. So as a consultant, we also get an extra 15% off. This is why Diana went shopping at lunchtime today, because we are getting a whopping 35% off. How amazing is that? The perks of being a consultant. All right, so what I am going to do is show you this beautiful dish, which is called steamed greens with lemon feta. It's a lovely dish that you can cook all year round, but it's a nice one to put on the Christmas, table or lunchtime or dinner time, because it looks really pretty. And how good are Asian greens anyway? So you've obviously got this beautiful big picture here. Now what I am going to do on Cookie Do is I've got my serving size here, and it automatically defaults to 6. So I'm actually going to change it to 4, because I don't really need 6. It's pretty much going to be only me eating it. Probably 4 is even too much, but I can have it for a couple of days, which will be good. So all I do is change it to 4, and you'll see that the quantity will change down for you. So that's a really handy tip about Cookie Do as well. So you can suit your family, you can increase it or decrease it as well. Then we press on start, and we have our beautiful recipe. Now, there are a couple of steps I'm skipping, which is the best part about being on Cookie Do, is that you don't have to, you know, set in stone cook. You can just do guided cooking. Missed the name of the dish. Oh, sorry, I'll go back. So it's steamed greens with lemon feta. All right, so let's get started.
Sasha, I just want to say, for those that's only seeing Sasha and not his screen as well, just swipe on your screen so you see the view of everything that's pinned, just so they can see your screen as well, Sash. There you go.
Cool. I can't see myself, so I have no idea what's happening, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to skip this step, which is lemon pith. Sorry, no pith. It's just the zest, but I don't have a lemon on me, so I'm just going to skip this step. I'm not a great, big, huge fan of lemon rind anyway, so this suits me fine, but you may want to do this in your recipe. So then you would just grate it for 15 seconds, scrape down the sides, grate again for another 15 seconds, and scrape down the sides again. So then with the lemon peel in there, you would then put your butterfly whisk in. So I love that the picture shows us to put the butterfly whisk in there. That's really cool. And we're going to add some ingredients. So we're going to add, we're going to click on this little dots and we're going to go set as current step. Because I've skipped some steps, I was able to get to that. So I'm going to add 25 grams of lemon juice. I am cheating and I've just got a little squirty one because I either have an abundance of lemons or I have no lemons. I don't know. There's never any happy medium in my kitchen. At the moment, I don't have any lemons. So if anyone's near me and they want to donate some, please feel free. All right, we're going to go in with some Danish feta. So 130 grams of that. I've got that pre-cubed up, ready to go. A little bit under, but that's fine. Extra virgin olive oil. So we're going in with 20 grams of that. I love, as Milani said earlier, that after each step, the Thermomix tears your scales for you. So, so handy. And especially if you take the lid off. If you have an older model Thermomix, you know that it always goes to minus when you take the lid off. So it's really clever now that that actually changes for us. All right, a little pinch of salt, pepper rather. Done that. Next. And we're going to combine that. So I'm just going to show you. Don't know if you can see my other screen or not, but I'll show you anyway. Hopefully you can. Can you guys see that?
Right, yep.
Okay, perfect. So there's a close-up of what's in there. It's really hard when I can't see it myself, but that's all good. And we're going to put our lid on because that's what it's telling us to do there. We've got our butterfly whisk in, put our little cap on the top, and we combine for 20 seconds. See how that's green? So as providing that lid is on safely, that will turn to green. You press play and that's actually magnetized. So there's no locking arms anymore on this model, which is amazing because then you don't have to clean them because it's a little bit of a pain. Those of you that have the older model, you'll know it's a bit of a pain to clean those arms. So this is really easy to clean, really easy to maneuver around as well with the little wheels that are in the base, so you can just wheel that around your bench, which is so good. Then you don't need one of the glider boards. All right, press play. That's going to mix for 20 seconds. Then we're going to remove our butterfly and we're going to transfer this into a bowl. Got my big, huge spatula here ready to go. I am loving the new spatula. It actually does get a lot of things out of the bowl, the ingredients out of the bowl a lot better because it's that longer shape. All right, so I'm just going to lift up my camera again and show you that. So that's all mushed up, ready to go. We're going to remove our butterfly. Oh, it's in there nice and tight. And then we're going to put this into a bowl. So if you had a second bowl, you could just leave it in here and then you could pop it onto the like a fresh bowl, but I've only got one here at the minute, so I'm just going to scrape that into a separate bowl. So that's going to be part of the topping on top of the vegetables a little bit later. Nice and lemony with your feta. It actually makes a really nice salad dressing. Is anybody making their own salad dressing or their own salads in the Thermomix? I've been seeing a lot about the traffic light salad or the broccoli salad. And I know other consultants will probably be amazed when I say this, but I have never made that before because I didn't know if I would be keen on having raw broccoli. But I think I'm going to give it a try because I keep seeing it everywhere and it looks absolutely delicious. So tell me if you've made that and what you think of it. All right, so transfer into a bowl. So it says to rinse our bowl, but I feel like we don't need to because all we got to do is place 400 grams of water in here to steam our veggies. So I'll just pop that in. Don't really have to measure that. You can be very rough with it because it's just the water in the bottom for steaming. All right, now we are going to place our varoma on the top. So we take our little cap off, put our varoma up here, take the lid off for now. All right, into our varoma, we're going to weigh in our green beans. So remember that I have put this down, so it would be more greater than that if you were doing a bigger one. So I've got about 200, and you can be very, very rough with this recipe. You don't have to have the exact amount. So I've done that. I should put it onto current step now. We're following, so we'll tick that off. Next, secure our varoma lid. So we must be cooking the beans for a little bit longer than we're going to cook the others because they take a little bit longer to cook. So this is now going to go on for 3.5 minutes. Plate, and we're going to steam that first, and then we're going to add our broccolini and our asparagus, and then we'll steam that for 8 minutes. Then we'll remove our veggies, and then I'll come back to that a little bit later. All right, handing over to Lyndall. Is it you or Kip?
If it's okay.
No, we're back to Milani.
Yes,
Milani,
I'm going to jump in here. Sorry, I must just pin myself and remove Sasha. There we go. I think I'm ready. So, yeah, if you can just admit if there's people again. So all I did was that sugar water with a gelatin, and we popped the whisk in. And I want to show you how amazing that is. Oh, shouldn't pour it onto the bench, but that's our marshmallow mixture. So the next step in here is just to add vanilla bean paste, and it asks for a teaspoon. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a roundabout person, so that's about a teaspoon. And then I'm going to be a bit cheeky, and I'm going to add red dye to this as well, because I wouldn't mind a colored marshmallow. So let's see how that works. I've never done that, but I've seen it on other pages. And tick that off, go next. Now we're going to combine that. Sorry, it's a bit awkward to work behind your Thermomix, as all consultants will know. That's just 10 seconds going to mix that up. In the meantime, I've put some corn flour in a bowl. So after you've cut up your marshmallow pieces, you can put them in corn flour. There we go. So, oh, that's a beautiful color. I will show you in a second. I quite like that.
That's amazing. I'm sure you could even flavor that, like if you had strawberry flavoring or something like that too, hey?
Absolutely, Diana. So I'm just removing my whisk, and then it asks to pour it out into your baking tray. I just did baking paper. Wow, this color is actually really beautiful. I don't know if you can see it on the Zoom. If you excuse me, I'm just going to turn the bowl around because I've got a very dumb left hand, and I'm just going to use my right hand to scrape out the rest of the marshmallow. Remember, when scraping out your bowl in any Thermomix, go, clockwise, so you don't cut your Thermomix spatula on the blade, because the cutting side, if you go anti-clockwise, you're going to cut your spatula. It's a little bit of white there. I'm just going to give it a twist. You can see the consistency here. It's already getting a bit thicker. So next, you've got a one set you can cut that in pieces, and then it carries on with the rest of the recipe. But I want to show you one I prepared earlier. So if you give me a second here, I'm just going to move that out the way. And this one is one I made a few days ago. So it's set nice, and if you can see there, I'm going to be very silly now, but I want to show you it's rubbery. It's so cool, and I've made pink marks on this one now, but you can just take a knife and cut them up into blocks. It's very sticky. I'm sure if you wet the knife or warm it up, not wet it, it'll be a little bit easier to cut through. And then that's where the corn flour comes in. So now...
Milani, kitchen scissors are great for marshmallow chopping as well.
Oh, I love scissors. You should have told me that earlier. I do everything with scissors. So once you dip this in corn flour, now it's not sticky at all. And my beautiful helper can try that one for her effort. But that you can now pack in a nice little packet with a bow on top and gift that as a Christmas present. So I've cut a few up in smaller bits, and I'm going to use that in my Rocky Road. But I might pop over to someone else first because I need to clean my bowl before I can do that step. Is
Right,
there
we're
anyone...
heading over to Kim. Milani?
All right, Kim, let's spotlight you. There we go, and I'll take mine off.
Hello, everyone. I am going to be making a quick Christmas cake. Now, I'm a mum of 4 children, and about this time every year, I kind of think, oh, what am I going to get teachers for Christmas presents? And I always think, oh, if I want to get them something, that's worth what I think that they are worth, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. So every year I make up hampers, I do the Christmas biscuits, and I always make a Christmas cake for them as well. So this is a new recipe that I have just tried last night, and I am so thrilled with this recipe. I want to show you a couple of tricks as well. And speaking of the mix shop with 20% off, have a look at these beautiful bundt tins. There are... Sorry, I'm just going to get rid of that. These are bundt tins from the mix shop. They are 6 little bundt tins, and I'm actually making those in... Sorry, I'll turn that phone off. And I'm going to be putting the Christmas cakes into these and making them, because I always usually put them in little dip containers and wrap them up for Christmas gifts. So the quick Christmas cake that I'm using today, I love this recipe. Very similar to the one I normally make, but I felt it didn't have the zing and the spice that my normal cake has. So what I love, and I don't know whether everyone can see my screen, I'm actually in my recipe. I love it because it tells you and shows you all the ingredients to prepare before. It tells you the preparation and maybe some tips on the recipe. But down here, it's got my notes. Now, this is my notes that I've added 2 zests of 2 oranges, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of mixed spice, and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now, that is what I want to do in my recipe, so I love it. So now I can actually pop everything in there and not forget anything. So I'm going to start with this, and I've pre-measured everything, so it won't take long at all. I am just putting in my dried mixed fruit. So I've just cut up some apricots, I've cut up some figs, I've cut up some dates, some prunes, and I've actually put in some almonds as well. So I've added that in, and I've gone over a little bit, so I'm just going to pre-tick that. In here, I've got my brown sugar and also my butter. I've already pre-weighed those. My water, I will just grab my jug and I will pour in 115 grams of water. And yes, I'm losing my eyesight, so I love the scales. They are really big, and I love because it gives us that little tick. I can see that green line, so it knows that it's going to pre-tick that for us. Awesome. I've got some brandy here. That all goes in as well. Some bicarbonate of soda, just half a teaspoon into there, and some ground mixed spice. Now, like I said before, I know that I want 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. It said half a teaspoon in the recipe, but the one I use, and when I tasted it, it just didn't have that really nice flavour. That was 1 teaspoon of ginger and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Kim, you can also use, there's actually a beautiful cookie dough recipe called Christmas Spice Mix.
Yes, you could.
I often make that and gift it as a little spice mix that people can put in their biscuits or things like that. But that'd be beautiful in this cake, I reckon. And that's a cookie dough recipe as well. So that's a mixed Christmas spice mix.
Yes, absolutely. Now, it says to cook that for 8 minutes. Voila, here's one I've prepared earlier. There we go. So that is all cooked, and it says to let that sit for it cooks for 8 minutes, and then let it sit for until it gets to 50 degrees. Now, because I've been sitting here for a little while waiting patiently, I can just go into the home screen, go to my manual mode, and it's 45 degrees instead of 50, but that is all cool. And then I can just go into my Christmas cake again, and I'm just going to skip that step. It says to let it cool for 50. Preheat the oven, grease a springform tin. So I'm not doing that, but today I'm actually doing our little ramekins there. So it's saying to place our cooling mixture bowl back into the position. And to that, I am adding 1 egg. I'll just crack that into there. Some self-raising flour, 130 grams of that. Bring that over. Oops, it helps when you actually tick the egg that you've added. Beautiful. There we go. And I've just gone a little bit under on there. And see how I've made a mess on my screen? This is what I love with this one. It doesn't matter. It will still register whether you're weighing, whether you're touching the screen. You don't have to worry about that. So here comes some plain flour in there as well. And that's around for about 40 seconds. That goes on. So that is all being mixed up. So I really, really, really love the way that this, so quick, so easy. I have no mess. It is a boiled Christmas cake, so it's so nice and moist and beautiful. The flavour now, adding a little bit more, and this is what I always love. You can adapt the recipe that you see to your own liking. Some food. And the greatest thing about a consultant, yes, I do have 2 Thermomixes, TM7s on my bench, is that we can earn them, which is fantastic. So I'm just putting that over here. And now it's just saying, after that quick mix, can everyone see that? I can't really see. So can everyone see that okay? Excellent. So this is our Christmas cake, all mixed up. Can everyone see that? Beautiful. And I just got a scoop. Now I'm just trying to see where that ice cream scoop has gone. It's what I've organised. Here it is. And I actually did 2 scoops of mixture to one of these Christmas cakes and just spread it around with the back of a spoon. So that is what I'm going to be doing while we are going over to the next presenter. Now, I don't know about you and Christmas cakes, but that is just so quick and so simple. So I'm going to keep filling these and let you go over to the next presenter.
Fantastic. We're going to go back to Meg's and see how she's going with that Christmas tree bread roll. Delicious, cheesy looking thing that she's making. So Meg's.
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well. So I'm almost done. And then here is my Christmas tree so far. So it's taking shape. It's actually got a nice little picture. So you cut it into, you break the dough into 32 little balls. And then for each ball, I don't know if you've been seeing me, but we just take, we make it a roll in that 8 centimeters. This was the bit that scared me the most, which is why I wanted to show you this tonight. And then you just really pop a spoon of cheese. Now this is, it's mozzarella with garlic that has been chopped up. I have not chopped an onion or garlic for 4 years since I first got my Thermomix and became a consultant. And then you literally, I hope you can see it because you just kind of pinch it all together. So it's not as scary as it looks. And then you flip it over. Ooh, where'd you go, camera? You flip it over. And then I'm going to add it here. So I'm just going to finish making that tree. And then that's going to proof. But while I'm here, I'm going to quickly show you the next steps because my onion's coming along very nicely. Let me just quickly show you where we're up to with our onion. So that's just been 20 minutes at 160 degrees. So now I'm going to add my chili in here. So I've just chopped it up a little bit because I know that we're not going to be chopping. So we're back to current step. Oopsie daisy, done that. So chili, my light brown sugar and my salt, I've actually got all together. So I'm going to tick that off. And then, oops, I need to untick that. I'm going to add in my red wine vinegar. So again, getting in the red, in the green zone, you can actually see here, it's filling up and showing you how close you are. So I've got a little ways to go. I'm getting there. So I'm halfway. You can see that it's getting fuller and fuller and fuller up to the measure mark that I want.
And now that we're coming up to school holidays, this is a really fun activity, or just, cooking anything with kids. It's a great way for them to sneak in some hidden maths when you've got all these scales and speeds and numbers. If you've got little ones, they can read all the instructions and the different steps. So it's really fun for everyone and a lot less mess than regular cooking, don't you find, people?
Yes. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, so I love the fact, and even some of my customers have said, I'm not using all the dishes in my kitchen to cook. So that's one good thing, one of the amazing things about the Thermomix.
Yep, I definitely used to be a 5-pot person. And when I got my Thermomix that first Christmas, just being able to whip up everything out of one bowl was incredible. And the fact that you can also adapt so many of your other recipes. I love cooking with Jamie Oliver meals, and he uses a food processor quite often, but it's quite easy to adapt that to the Thermo. And what I love about it is the self-cleaning mode as well. I've just put mine on to clean out the smoked salmon mousse that I've just made, and just on in the background, cleaning itself, which is really handy.
And one thing about the TM7 compared to the other models is it's so much quieter, and a lot of people notice the difference in sound in relation to, in cleaning and things, isn't it, Diana?
Absolutely. If you compare even just the TM6 cooking rice compared to the TM7 cooking rice, the noise difference is huge. And rice is something that our family has probably at least 3 times a week. I just love it. I just love it. Yeah.
So just checking, Megs, we're done, or were you going to show us something else, Megs?
I'm just going to quickly show you the glass jars.
Talk again. Where are you now?
I'm here. Hello.
Just wait, let me unprint. This is fun, guys. Looking for everyone. Okay, talk again, Meg. Oh, there you
Hello. So just
yeah.
to show you, I got these cute little jars today. You can get jars from anywhere. You can save jars, but I thought as a special Christmas treat, these are super cute. People can reuse them as well, but they actually come in a whole long tray. So I can put lots of different things in and give that to one person, or I can just make lots of little jars and they might be gifts for colleagues at work. So that's because this is so delicious. I did this a couple of years ago. I made it and I gave it to people, and people are still talking to me about this caramelized red onion chutney. And then it goes so great with these chicken balls. That's why I wanted to show you. So that's me. I'm just going to keep making my little chicken balls if you want to check it at the end. And my onions now has just got another 20-minute cook. So, and then I'll be all done.
Fantastic. You've just got another couple of minutes, Milani, is that right?
Yes. So I've got 2 minutes and then I need 7 minutes where someone else can show something again. So I hopped out of that recipe. We'll share all the recipes with you later because I like the other Rocky Road recipe more. So I've just gone on to, it's called Rocky Road with Turkish Delight pieces. And I'm going to start that recipe, line a baking tray. I've done that. So it asks for Brazil nuts, and then you chop that up, but I'm just using peanuts. And what I love about Rocky Road, you can just put in whatever you want. So now we're getting to the chocolate bit. It says dark chocolate, but I'm not a dark chocolate person. So again, overriding that. And just give me 1 second. There, you can watch over there. So I'm adding my normal milk chocolate here. Slightly over, but that's okay. The more chocolate, the better, right? And we're going to grate that for 10 seconds. So you saw how much chocolate I added in. Now, I don't know if you'll hear on Zoom how much quieter this is, but with the 5s and the 6s, I felt like pushing my fingers in my ear. But with the 7, oops. I don't know
While
if you could.
Milani's doing that, I was going to say, I have actually put all the recipes in the chat, but if you wanted the recipes and you can't get them off the chat, just reach out to your consultant and they'll be able to pass them on.
So that was 10 seconds. I don't know if Zoom muted me while that happened, but as you could see, my ear was literally next to the bowl and I wasn't flinching. It's really so much quieter. It asked to scrape down the bowl, and then we're going to add 30 grams of coconut oil, and then we're going to melt that for 4 minutes, scrape down, melt for another 3, and then you can come back to me. Is Sasha ready?
Can I go next?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure, sir.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm just going to show you how I am going to do this now.
You need both cameras again?
No, just one's fine.
Okay.
Just the me one. So in here, in the oval thermo server, I've put the feta mix down the bottom, which is what the recipe tells me to do. Now, my vegetables are steamed perfectly up in the Verona. You can steam them to how you like them, whether you like a bit of crunch, you like them a bit softer, whatever that may be. So, see if you can see that. So they're all in there ready to go. So we've got the beans, the broccolini, and the, what's it called? Asparagus. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line those on top of the feta in here. So just spreading them out. You could take your time and make it look really pretty if you wanted to, but I'm all about the rustic look. So I'm a bit of a messy cook, a rustic type cook. So let's just lay these. Maybe we'll crisscross the broccolini a little bit. Try to make it look a little bit fancy. Same with the asparagus. Who loves asparagus? I'm really into asparagus at the moment. I go through stages with it, but at the moment I must need it because I'm really craving it all the time. It's yum. All right, so I've got that there. How's that look? There we go. And then what we do is we put a sprinkle of salt, just a little bit. You've got to season everything, right? Especially if you've been watching MKR. It's all about the seasoning. A little drizzle of the olive oil. I've got some very small diced red onion, because I'm not a huge fan of red onion, but I don't mind it if it's cut up quite small. So just sprinkling that over the top. A little bit more. And then I've got some slithered almonds. Now, I did ask for the shaved almonds, but this is all I've got, so we're just making do, and that's completely fine. So this gives you that little bit of crunch, and then that is done. So I'll just put this up a little bit more. How good does that look? I'll take a photo and share it later, but that's the dish. So can you imagine how nice that would be on Christmas Day in the middle of the table? It's really nice and healthy. And just something a little bit different. And when you eat it all together, you get the crunch, you get the onion, you get the feta, you get the saltiness, the lemon. It's actually really delicious. So you should make this one. I just got distracted by the comment of I have my own plant. Asparagus, that is. I'm glad you put that under there. Wow, asparagus plant. That's cool. But yeah, awesome. So handing over to Lyndall, is that right?
And
Fantastic.
somebody just asked in the chat, does the TM5 have a self-cleaning mode? And no, it doesn't. The TM6 and the TM7 have self-cleaning modes. But what we love about the TM7 is that everything is so visual. So with the TM7 cleaning modes, Lyndall, are you spotlighted? Maybe you could show everyone what that looks like, or we can go and look at that later.
But go for it, Diana. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I love the TM7 just because of all the pictures, and I am one of those people that just likes to see things a little bit more visually. So if I go into all our built-in modes, and we've actually got over 20 built-in modes, so more than any other model. And if we're going into our pre-clean, you do actually, if you can see that, have little pictures. So you've got quick, universal, dough, browning, and fat or caramel. So the browning is really good when using the high heat mode, which is exclusive to the TM7. The TM6 does have the high heat mode, but you have to use a cookie dough recipe. But the good thing with the TM7 is we've actually got a built-in high heat mode. So if you do feel like just making a bowl of stir-fry vegetables, you can certainly do that. So I just really love this. And while we're on the modes, another mode that I really love with all my customers are loving as much as us is the egg boiler mode. And how great is this that, depending on how you like your eggs, whether it's soft, medium hard or hard, you can just select what you like, and you can do 2 to 6 eggs. I've actually done 8 before and it still worked out fine. And this is wonderful whenever you want a quick breakfast, a snack, or just to have some boiled eggs in the fridge for salads, or just to, toast or anything like that as well. So sorry, I just had to talk about the modes. I love the modes. And the good thing about the TM7, because it's smart connected, we're just going to get more on new modes and features popping up all the time as our machine is updated. So it actually gets better with age.
Fantastic. All right. Now, am I right? All good?
Yep, we can
Fantastic.
see you.
All right. One of my things I love about Christmas is, 12 eggs, Rachel was saying. Perfect. One of the things I love about Christmas is how I can use my Thermomix to actually help me just do all my baking. So I work in a school in the food tech, and this week we actually made, it was pizza this week. Last week was shortbread. And they did shortbread with icing sugar. And I was like, I reckon I could adapt that to my Thermomix when I get home. So I thought I'm going to do that because it was such icing sugar opposed to the rice flour.
Good things.
And things. And actually makes it really
I know, I was on the phone to you.
Sorry, we've just got someone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Milani, can you mute? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you. So I thought I'm going to do it because it was just a really soft, beautiful shortbread, and it was really a smooth shortbread. So I am going to show you quickly how to do it. Now, I don't know whether anyone's heard of the recipe community. So I Googled the recipe community and see if there's a recipe on that, and I actually found one, which I've popped into the chat, and it's called, for anyone who wants to search it, it's called Mum's Shortbread. And it's got 3 ingredients in it. So the first ingredient is icing sugar. So what I've done, obviously in my house, I don't tend to have icing sugar. I just have the raw sugar. And what I've done is I've used my chop mode, and I've already put my I've use my chop mode. Does anyone use their chop mode much? Because I love my chop mode. I loved it on the 6 and I love it on the 7 as well. And so I just put 115 grams of sugar into the Thermomix, did chop mode, and in 12 seconds it made icing sugar, which is amazing. So I'm just going to pop that in there. That's 115 grams of icing sugar. Just scrape the rest of that in there. Then it virtually calls for, this recipe is so easy, you just chuck everything in. It calls for 250 grams of butter. Now, something about this butter, I don't know, is anyone on the chat tonight or on the Zoom tonight, who's actually dairy intolerant or lactose intolerant? If you are, I use this butter all the time, and I'm just going to show you. Can everyone see that okay? So you can get that from Woolies in a block. You probably can get it from Coles as well, but I guess I shop at Woolies. And it's just 250 grams of dairy-free butter. It's great for baking. So because it's a lot better than like a Nuttelex or Buttery or something like that, which is an alternative dairy-free butter, because it has more structure and it makes you can bake with it really well with biscuits and things. So I've just put the 250 grams in there. And this is what I love about my Thermomix is I can adapt recipes to cater for my family who have allergies. So the next thing to put in is 370 grams of plain flour. So obviously I can go to my control center on my screen, which is virtually, if anyone has a TM7, you just pull down from the top, and I'm going to go to scales, and it's going to weigh in 370 grams of flour, which I've pre-measured, so that's fine. And I'm going to go back to manual cooking. Now, all I have to do with this recipe is I have to 15 seconds at speed 6. So with the manual mode, and I'm a bit of a manual cook, so I guess I started out with a TM5, and I did a lot of manual cooking as well. I didn't get into Cookie-Doo, but now I love Cookie-Doo, now that it's actually right in front of my eyes all the time. It's fantastic. But I also love how you can import recipes in. So I've actually put this on my machine, but I'm just showing you the manual mode for tonight's purpose. So all I do is I click on seconds, and I'm going to set it to 15. So I'm going to push +10, +5, and then I'm going to go to the speed, and I'm going to go to 6. And it's going to do that for 15 seconds. So let's see how quickly that does rubs the butter into the flour.
It's hard to see your manual modes. I mean, your manual time, temperature, speed on your screen there. But I'm sure we can go into another consultant later on and just show that a little bit clearer. I think it's just the light reflecting off there.
That's right. I can have a quick look. Oops.
Oh, yep. Now we can see it. Yep. There we go.
There we go. So,
yes.
So if I want to do that, I just do that and I scroll down like this.
Or you can use the little buttons down the bottom.
Or you can use the buttons down the bottom. Yeah. So I can do 8 or 4 and things like that.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So I've just put my camera back
Sorry
on.
about that, Linda. I just thought I'd point that out because we all know what it looks like. But
no,
in case someone's new to the TM7, they know what it looks like.
No, that's great. And we have got some people in here who haven't seen a TM7. So that's what it, in 15 seconds, that's what the butter has done. It's rubbed it in, which is amazing. So what I'm going to do now is it says to knead it. So, but I tend to like to get my hands into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my Thermomix out of the road. I'm going to grab my dough mat like Megs has. And I got one of these early on. So I've been with Thermomix for 7 years. And so I got one of these early on and I love it. It's fantastic. We use it. It's had over the years, it's had lots of Play-Doh on it as my kids have grown up. But I'm just going to tip it all on and it looks like it's kind of all crummy, but it's amazing how it actually comes together. So I'm just going to get the rest out of the bowl. And I'm going to show you how it comes together. So all I do is I give it a bit of a knead, push it all together. Now, I experimented today, and I'll show you in a minute at the end because I've pre-done this today as well, because I knew maybe we wouldn't have enough time to bake the biscuits. So my kids are going to be very happy. They're going to have lots of biscuits, and I'll be able to take some to school tomorrow to share with the other staff, which is probably going to be handy because it's report writing day. So they might need a bit of extra treats. So now I'm going to hold that up in a minute. Now, can you see how that was very crummy? And I've just pushed it all together. And it's come into a very nice dough. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll it out. Now, some tricks obviously for rolling out. I've actually got, and I don't know if anyone else has that. Can the dough mats go in the oven? Yeah, they can. They can go up to 240, I think, from memory. They can actually go in the oven, but I'll tell you what I have as well. You can actually get from the mix shop. So get on and get a bargain at the moment. I could just put one in the dishwasher because I used them today. But I'll show you. Mine are very well used, so they're quite discoloured because that's what happens to them. But this is a tray liner, and I'll show you how it goes. I'll just grab my tray out. Sorry, I should have got that out earlier. So they just fit perfectly into a tray. So it's just a liner. So that's what I use instead of baking paper. And you can get them as a set at the mix shop. Obviously, you can get the rose gold one. This is a good old chef's toolbox from the day. But I do have the rose gold ones from Thermomix. They're very heavy duty and they're great. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out. Now, does anyone have any one of these? It's a Joseph and Joseph rolling pin with the different widths you can put on. So if I'm rolling something thin like a pastry, I can unscrew the ends of these, take these off, and it'll roll it to whatever thickness I want. And at the moment, I want 0.5 centimetre. So I've got the 0.5 centimetre ones on. Now, you can actually roll like this as well, but also too, you can actually use these dough mats. So it doesn't see how it can stick to your rolling pin. So I just do this. And sometimes when you roll dough, I don't know if anyone else finds, it starts to crack. Does anyone when they roll dough and things or pastry, it can just have a little bit of a crack as it's expanding? Is anyone with me there, or is it just me?
No, that sometimes happens to me too.
Yep.
Do you have any tips?
Well, this is my tip.
Okay.
Put a mat over, and then all of a sudden you have got the great dough. So now that is rolled perfectly to 0.5 centimetre because I've set my sizing on my rolling pin. So you can get these at house shops and things. I got this for Christmas. I've had this for about 10 years, and it's great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting out. Now, what I've done today
so it doesn't have to change much.
I have Is that better?
Yes. Yeah.
Someone muted me, sorry. So I've done some with circles, and then what I've done is I've got like a stamp. So if anyone has a stamp for Christmas, what I tend to do is I just stamp the biscuits, and then I don't know whether you can see that pretty.
Oh, that's so cute.
Little design.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did with some of them. And the other things I did little hearts. So I cut out little hearts. I'm going to show you the cooked versions in a minute. So I've just done some little hearts, and you can dip them half in melted chocolate just to make them a little extra special for Christmas. You can do stars as well, and things like that. So these are a great little biscuit. Now what I've done is I'll continue rolling these and cutting them out. So I'll bake them tonight. These, you can actually, if you don't want to use your dough straight away, you can actually pop it in the fridge and let it sit in the fridge, and then you just get it out for a little bit before you use it. Now, also, too, you can actually freeze shortbread. So if you want to get organised, they freeze really well and defrost really well, okay? So this is something I prepared earlier.
Is that the cooked dough or uncooked dough or both?
You can do both actually. You can do both actually.
Oh, right.
I normally just do the other thing what you can do is if you wanted to, you can roll it up into a log and freeze it as a raw dough, then get it out and then cut it and mold it into little balls and then stamp and things like that.
Oh, that's another great tip. You're full of great tips.
So now these are the biscuits that I cooked earlier. So what I did was I experimented because I love experimenting. So these are the cooked little biscuits with the little stamps on them. And they've turned out quite cute and they're little hearts. Now what I did was I actually took some of the flour out and added some cocoa and I made some chocolate shortbreads. So I've done some chocolate shortbreads as well, which my kids say they are delicious. And my 6-year-old who lost her tooth tonight, not because she ate a biscuit, but because she's 6 and her front tooth's ready to come out. But yeah, so that's some fantastic little biscuits. So what we might do is, Milani, do we need to go back to you or Megs and see where you're up to?
I would love to come back to me if that's
Great.
okay. Sorry, let me do the pinning. And I'm so sorry for muting you. I was trying to mute someone else just before. There we go. So while the Thermomix was cooking or melting my chocolate, I quickly took a screenshot because I love this new feature on the TM7 where while you're cooking, I don't know, wait, my screen is too bright. Let me just put the brightness down. No, too much. I'll get there eventually. Let's try that. So, yep, I took a screenshot and it will pop up on your screen to show you how long you still have on your Thermomix. And then if you tap on it, it will show you the recipe you're busy with and the time that's left. So what I like about this, the family can't cook anything in the Thermomix without me knowing. It pops up while I'm at work or wherever I am, I can see what they're cooking. So getting back to the chocolate, we grated it up and then I just melted that for, can you see there? For 7 minutes in the Thermomix. Love it that we can control the temperature because then we know it's not gonna burn. So first thing here says 100 grams of desiccated coconut. So the previous Rocky Road I was in, you actually toast the coconut. So if you like that, you can absolutely do that. But each to their own, whatever they want to do. This one's got puffed rice as well, or Rice Krispies. I didn't have any. It's got raisins. I'm not doing that. But I am doing, because I can, that way around, these little lifesaver sticks that I cut into pieces and juicy bursts. So I just cut them up for a bit of color. And we're going to add all that in. Isn't that better than raisins? We're also going to add the mini marshmallows. So the marshmallows we made before, this is a batch that I made yesterday or the day before. They're a bit sticky, but I should have done corn flour on them as well because they're all sticking together at the moment. That's how you learn. All right. If I can eventually get them all in the bowl. There we go. And this one asks for Turkish Delight. So I did Turkish Delight in the other day, which I'll show you soon. Then the Brazil nuts you cut up. I'm just doing peanut. And like I said, you can do anything. Where's my lid gone to? Oh, there. We're just going to mix that for a minute to get the chocolate around all of these lollies and things. I would love for you to pop in the chat, what do you like in your Rocky Road? So I'm definitely going to do another batch with some rice bubbles because one of my favorite things to eat is also Mars bar, which is very easy in the Thermomix. And that's with the rice bubbles. Anyone having any other ideas what they like in their Rocky Road? Dried mango. Okay, never done that one. Maltesers, I can go for that. Definitely love a Malteser.
My sister-in-law makes the most amazing peppermint Rocky Road every year. It is so good. She uses the Aero chocolate.
Oh.
It's so yum. And any red lolly really goes really well. You can chop up snakes or use the red jelly beans or, anything. So
I love
So
pistachios.
that Aero chocolate, does she put pieces in it,
yeah,
or
pieces.
does she melt it to actually put the Rocky Road?
No pieces because you can see like the peppermint through it.
Oh, so I didn't have to get any of my fingers dirty. Oh, that's much better if I do it this way with my ring light. There we go. Now, I think it says to finish mixing with a spatula if necessary. It wasn't necessary. Then transfer into a prepared tin and level the surface. Set aside for 2 hours in the fridge. So I'm definitely going to have to use my clever hand and so you just pull it out of the Thermomix bowl and pop it into a lined baking tray and then level it down. I don't want to waste your time. I'll get the last bit out in a bit, but you get the idea there, and you just squish it down. I used a spoon the other day just to get it nice and flat on the top, but I don't want to keep you too long with that. So this one I made a few days ago, and I just popped them in the fridge, and then I cut them into blocks. So these ones I did with Turkish Delight pieces with the peanuts and the coconut. And I think that's all we put in that one. So there you go. Really a nice, quick recipe to do.
I'm glad you know where I live, Milani. Might happen to drop some off to me.
Well, I'm going to have 2 batches soon, and I've got to do teacher's gifts. So I thought, and I've got to finish the other batch I started of marshmallows before I showed you the pink one. So I'm going to have 3 batches of marshmallows, a white, a pink. Oh, there we go. I can even show you. It's starting to set. Can you see that?
Yep.
I don't know if you can get the consistency there. Yeah, I'm freezing it, but because it's set, so we can cut this up in the next 5 minutes. And then I'll do another batch with the one I started before and pack them as teacher's gifts with the Rocky Road. So who's next?
We'll head across to Meg's. But what I've just quickly done, I've actually put it, I've decided I'm going to freeze these ones because I've got 2 batches already. So I've just cut them all out. They're not cooked yet. I'm going to put them in the freezer. And when I want some, I'm just going to pull them out and be able to bake them. So this is a little tip to get Christmas ready. So we're going to go across to Meg's now to see how she's going with that tree.
Just lift
Fabulous.
it up for me again, Lyndall. Can you show us that tray again? Sorry, it took me a minute to get the spot.
Sorry.
Oh, look at those beautiful.
So I'm going to pop that in the freezer. And so then if I have some visitors pop over or something I need, something I can just pull them out, put them in the oven, and I'll have fresh shortbread.
Perfect. All right, let's find Meg quickly.
Hello.
There we go. Thank you for that.
Hello.
There you go.
So here is my finished product. My cute little jar with a little green ribbon. Yes, it just happens to have the word Thermomix on, but I don't mind. So that is the finished result. And then I can show you what it looks like inside. So that's my beautiful, I'm going to put that in a jar once we finish this call. Now, just to show you, here is my Christmas tree, and it's just proofing. And then what will happen now is I'm actually going to do an egg wash, and then I've got some basil and rosemary with butter that I'll melt and I'll put on that. And then the cutest little thing is these little tiny berry tomatoes. I got too many tomatoes delivered because I was just excited. When I first made this, I got mini Roma tomatoes, and they were my baubles. So you're going to cut them in half, and then you can decorate your Christmas tree. Or I think these are super cute because these just look like little baubles for your Christmas tree. So I'm going to decorate my Christmas tree with yellow and red baubles. Plus I'll have the green from the rosemary and the basil. and the butter, and that's going to go into the oven, and then I'm going to eat it with my freshly made tomato. Oh, sorry, not tomato. What's this? Chutney. Red onion, caramelized red onion chutney. So that's my little Christmas.
Yum, that looks really nice. And that chutney looks so rich in color. It almost looks red.
Yeah, it's stunning because of you've got the red onion as well as the red wine vinegar and then the brown sugar to caramelize, plus a little bit of chili. So you can add more chili or less chili, depending on, your preference and your people that you're going to be gifting that to. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Amazing. So who are we going to now, Lyndall?
I think once we spotlight everyone, I think we're pretty much done, and then we can just all show our end results.
Yeah.
And I'd just quickly like to jump on and just
sorry,
show
Kim.
these.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I just want to show these are some of the little Christmas cakes that have come out of the oven, and making our own jams and chutneys like we've been doing. This was a beautiful apricot jam, so I just heated that up, brushed them, and then this is a Merry Christmas, little Christmas cake. So I love it. Really quick. I'll actually wrap those, and they'll be going in Christmas hampers for friends and for teachers, like I do every year.
Yep. So Kim, how would you wrap them? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, actually, I've just bought off Temu today some little containers that look like Christmas with a little clear dome. So I don't know. I'm hoping they will fit in that. Otherwise, I just get some cellophane, cut it out in a square, bring it up, and tie a beautiful little bow. And then they sit in. I just buy a Christmas box, fill it with cellophane, and then I've got my shortbreads. I've got this. I've got honey biscuits and Christmas biscuits that I make every year. So I do a huge hamper for my beautiful teachers that spend so much time with my children and are invested in them. So I just love, love showing everyone all those, like I love giving gifts that kind of, don't have to be bought, and they are a lot cheaper. It was everything that I had in my cupboard. I didn't have to go out and buy anything, so which is really good.
Plus, there's only so many candles that teachers can get, right?
And mugs that say the world's greatest teacher.
And notebooks, and something personal and delicious like that is, something that they'll remember. That looks awesome.
Yeah, and they'll all be putting up their hand to teach your children next year.
Yeah, they all do fight. All of you teachers were told, oh, well, you've missed out on the Van Buren children. You're going to miss out on your Christmas hamper. But no, it's great to be able to give something, from the heart, from love.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I've just noticed.
Can I quickly show my little
definitely
finished products? Because I'm not sure if I have showed everyone. Now, this dip that I made, it's a smoked salmon mousse, but you can also use it as a dip. I did want to mention that it actually makes a lot, and I'm sure you can freeze it, but you could quite also easily make half a batch. So what I have done is I've got little toasted pieces of baguette, topped it with the mousse. You can leave it plain, but what I like to do is put a touch of smoked salmon and a little bit of dill or chives and just serve that. And doesn't that look really impressive to have a drink? So my kids are actually dying to dig into these, and they're like, Mum, when are you going to finish? Because they want to have a go. But how
There's
lovely.
the wine. Needs a wine.
No, actually really nice with champagne, I might add.
Oh, yeah.
With champagne. So this always screams New Year's to me, actually. But yeah, this is very sophisticated, nice to have on Christmas Day, but anytime you're entertaining, really.
It's great.
Yeah, and I love your greens on the feta. That's awesome. Like so many of these dishes you can actually make all year round. I don't know why we just save them for Christmas. We should be eating them all year round because they're all so nice.
You should.
There we go. I've plated my Rocky Road as well with the marshmallows. And,
that looks so good.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed this class. Pop in the chat what you thought about the class. And I'm just going to stop the recording.
would love to know one thing that you'd